Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of my cooking series here. I used to be a culinary professional before I got into personal training and fitness, so food has always been a big part of my life. Obviously, being a fitness professional, I can't be like 25% body fat and, do whatever I want to do, but I'm not a physique model. I play rugby, you know what I mean? I like to be under 20% body fat, muscular, lean, whatever. But I also love food and want to enjoy life. So the whole purpose of this series, right? It's like the title implies, Foods of the Southwest. I think we all know what state I live in now. You've seen me lifting enough times. So I grew up eating these foods. It's the foods that I love to eat, love to make, this kind of thing. I'll show very crude macros at the end. It's not going to be super accurate. Give or take 100 or 200 calories, grams of protein, carbohydrates, fats, all that kind of stuff. So don't take it literally. More than anything, it's just going to be sharing my love of food with you guys. So hope you enjoy it. We're going to be making some Chipotle chicken thigh wraps. Delicious. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, so we got our ingredients here. What I like to do is I like to just add calories up as I go. So we're going to be making a Chipotle mayo with some canned Chipotle peppers here and some mayo. 1 tablespoon is 110 calories. So we're obviously going to be using much more than 1 tablespoon to make the sauce. But then when we go to portion it in the wrap, we know that at least 110 calories per 1 tablespoon of the sauce. Chipotle peppers, basically nothing. Okay, our grilled chicken thighs, I grill up an entire pack every single weekend, and I use it for all kinds of different foods, just like you'll see tonight. About 200 calories per thigh. Onion, nothing. And then our uncooked flour tortillas here, about 150, well not about, actually 150 calories per 1 tortilla. So we got our macronutrient data down. Now let's do some cooking. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our chops. So we're gonna dice an onion. We're gonna dice the chicken thighs. I put a wet paper towel underneath the cutting board so it don't slide around. And I'll actually show you guys the right way to dice an onion. So we just cut the top off, okay? We're gonna cut it in half now. We're gonna peel the skin off. Okay, we got the skin peeled off. We got 2 halves of an onion. I'm only gonna be dicing the 1 half. I'll set the other aside. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come in. Be very careful when you're doing this. We're going to make cuts in to the onion, okay? Just like that. Okay, so now we got cuts going down. Now we're going to make cuts this way to the onion. Okay, so now we got something that looks like this. Now we're gonna dice the onion. I like to curl my knuckles when I do it. Again, I did this for a long time, so. We dice the onion, and look at that, we got perfectly diced onion right there. Okay, now we have 3.5 grilled chicken thighs. They've already been seasoned with garlic, salt, and pepper. So I'm gonna dice these up as well. And then we're gonna saute the chicken and the onions all together. Usually I would season it with some sort of Mexican seasonings. But like I say, it's already seasoned and we're gonna be making a sauce for the wraps anyways. So we're gonna dice the chicken thighs and then we'll get going on the sauteing. These chicken thighs are more of a large dice, while the onion was more of a small dice. Kind of your personal preference. All right, so we got them chicken and onions sauteing, tiny bit of canola oil, high heat. We're gonna get them onions softened up, and now we are going to make our delicious Chipotle mayo. Chipotle mayo, we're gonna go with 4 very generous tablespoons of mayo here to start us off. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Then we got our canned Chipotle peppers here. Okay. These things are super, super hot. So it's sitting in the sauce already. The sauce itself is kind of hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put 2 peppers and then a little bit of that sauce in there. All right, we got the mayo and the Chipotle in our food processor. You can do this in a blender or Vitamix, anything you want to do. But we're just going to basically just get it nice pureed, blended up. All right, we got to fry up some tortillas. If I was a true Southwesterner, I'd have made the tortilla dough from scratch, but I'm lazy, and these are just store-bought. So I'm going to fry up 4 tortillas, and then we're going to make these delicious wraps. All right, so the last thing that we're gonna do now is build the delicious wraps. So we got our chicken and onions, we got our Chipotle mayo, we got our flour tortillas. I'm gonna put a little bit of cheese in there. If you want less calories, obviously, don't add the cheese. I will be doing it because it will exponentially make my life that much better. All right, so we got the cheese and the tortilla. We're gonna do our tablespoon, a little bit less, of delicious Chipotle mayo there. Okay, then we're going to do a handful of the chicken and onions, and then we're going to roll the burrito. For those of you that don't know how to do this, you should be ashamed of yourself, but if you don't, okay, fold it the ends like this, roll, make sure it's all in there, finish it up just like that. And there she blows. If you value the finer things in life and aren't a dumb simpleton, okay, you're gonna cut this burrito at a 45-degree angle, just like that. So you have something that looks like that. And then I'll show you once it's on the plate how delicious it looks. Absolutely delicious. Now the last and final and most important thing to do is to shovel all this delicious food down the pie hole. I will put the very rough estimate macros of this meal in the description. Hope you guys enjoy. See you next time.
Sunlight form bromate, even more than ozone. And so we made this unfortunate scientific discovery that actually was not part of any regulatory scheme. And so